Booba! It's me! Episode 30! We made a whole month of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. So happy to be here. Did you guys see Raw last night? Because I didn't. I watched up to the Cruiserweight match, but then it got too long. That Cruiserweight match was the best one I've seen in a long time. They actually did wrestling instead of just punching and kicking. And they did like some fast stuff, some slow stuff. They had a couple funny spots. That was the best Cruiserweight match, but that's pretty much all I saw. I'll do another review when I finish the rest of it. But today I wanted to talk what makes you stand out of the pack. Now there is tons of great wrestlers out there, especially in Ontario. What a hotbed of talent. But I want to ask you, what makes you stand out? Okay, you can do all the moves. You can do them fantastic. You can have a 5-star match. But what is going to make you sell merchandise? What is going to get you booked on other promotions? What is going to get you signed to NXT or one of the larger ones like Ring of Honor or TNA? You got to have something to speed it up. Otherwise, you can go out there and you can wrestle 5-star matches against everybody. But it's going to take a lot of years before you get your shine and, building up your name. What is going to jumpstart you, fast track you to that level? You gotta have something special. Something silly. You notice on WWE right now, the guys that are getting over the most are the ones that are playing characters like that Jack Gallagher and Ty Dillinger and Enzo Amore. You gotta have something, and Bailey, like these silly characters. That's where it's at. Like, for me personally, I know when I was young in wrestling, it was almost like I was having practice matches in front of the crowd. The crowd was not even there. I was too shy. I was just focused on what the next move would be. And now I've noticed a difference. I go out there. I don't do any big bumps. I just play the crowd the whole time. And now I can actually sell shirts. And now, at intermission, all these kids want to have their picture with me. Where before, I would wrestle this match that was so hard and do all these amazing moves. And someone might say, hey, that was a cool move. And I was like, what? I came up with all these creative moves and creative reversals. So this is also going back like 13 years ago. Nowadays, it's going to be very hard to come up with a move that someone hasn't done already. Like, I used to think, oh, I invented this move. And then a couple weeks later, I would see someone do it. And it's like, well, in my mind, I still invented it because I had never seen anyone do it. But not only that, you got to take a move and put your own twist to it. The stupidest moves, the ones that got over the most, are sometimes the silliest, like the 5-knuckle shuffle, the people's elbow, Scotty 2 Hotty's the worm. You got to have something just a little bit extra. And now, if you're working the indie shows, it's good to be able to cut a good promo, like Enzo Amore and those kind of guys that come out and talk, like the New Day and stuff. But if you're on an indie show, you're not going to get a lot of mic time. So what are you going to do to make it special? You can get yourself a snazzy outfit. That might help, but I don't think that's going to push you to the next level. You need some kind of silly, maybe not silly, some kind of unique entrance that you can do at an indie show. That you don't need fireworks and you don't need any spectacular, anything big. Just something you could do at indie show. Or if not that, you need a signature move that you can do every match to any opponent of any size that will catch on. You need to have a catchphrase. Like I said, you probably won't get a lot of mic time, but something you can constantly say, something you can hashtag. There's this guy, Carter Mason. I knew him since back in Brantford, and now he always proclaims himself the King of the North. And it drives me crazy. But you know what? It's because it works. Whether he's the King of the North or not, if you say it enough, people will start jumping on the bandwagon. People will start to believe it. You have to believe it yourself. There's so many great wrestlers out there. They just need that something little extra. Not naming names, Eric Carney. But anyway, like, what can you do to make yourself stand out from the pack? Like, I'm not saying I'm that great or anything, but I noticed I changed my entrance. Now I'm over just because of my entrance. I used to try and do all these dumb bumps, and Gaza Coleman would pull me aside and he would say, why are you doing all these stupid bumps? for 20 people in the crowd, and I said, I just want to be remembered. I just want someone to say, hey, do you remember this guy? And show him my tape. It doesn't work like that. Even now, this is back when the internet wasn't big, but even now when the internet is big, think about Joey Ryan. I hate that kind of wrestling. Like, to me, I hate it. But I admire and respect him because he gets over and he can work every day of the week because he's not doing stupid bumps. But Gazy used to get on me and be like, kid, just come up with something. Like, have some charisma. But I was always so shy. I was always so worried about screwing up a move and embarrassing myself. And now I embarrass myself on purpose, and that is what makes people like me. And like for me, maybe the wrestlers, other wrestlers, or maybe like the smart wrestling fans between the ages of 20 and 40, maybe they don't like my stuff. But I got the kid audience and like the ladies. They love me. They buy my shirts. So what are you going to do? You got to think of something. If it's not a simple catchphrase or a snazzy signature move or some kind of weird entrance, do something crazy. Have some kind of like a wizard gimmick where at the end of the match you shove a pill in their mouth and like orange stuff oozes out of their mouth, like Papa Shango and Ultimate Warrior. Something like that. Like something original. Just do something different. Don't be afraid to try something different. If you're getting booked and a promoter says, or you say to a promoter, hey, I have this new gimmick that I want to try. If they already respect your work, why wouldn't they try it? And then if it gets over, then everybody's going to want to book you, not just the promotions that are already booking you. I challenge you. Yes, you. Try something a little different. You may have going or making the rounds. Like, okay, if you've just been wrestling like a couple months, well, you just need to get experience and go out there and be comfortable doing the moves and comfortable in front of the crowd. But what is the crowd there for? You're not wrestling a practice match. I used to do the same matches I did in practice that I would do in front of a crowd. If you're not working the crowd, like slow it down. Do a move and then play the crowd. If you don't want them to like you, then why are you doing all these cool moves to make them like you? And if you do want them to like you, well, doing a bunch of moves and going, yay, and I'm going up to the top, that's not going to cut it. You have to have something that is going to be, you're going to remember you by. Like, I used to jump off a ladder through a table, and like 2 people would remember it. Now, I'll bite a guy on the butt, and the kids will come up to me and they'll be like, oh, when you bit that guy in the butt, didn't it smell? And like, they're asking about it. Like, I know that's not a good example, but it's just like what I'm thinking. Something you can do that is different from everybody else. It can be just something small, just some little tweak. Like, you don't have to drastically change everything you can do. Keep doing the same moves. Like, there's so many guys out there, like Reckless Ryan Swift. He can do anything. He can have a match with anybody. And what is going to get him into NXT? He might get there, but it's going to take like 5 or 6 years and maybe going to Japan and getting a trial here and having all these matches and finally someone sees it on YouTube. What is going to be something that you can have like a 30-second clip of that's going to go viral, that like, look at all those Joey Ryan videos of him doing the dick flip or whatever you call it, and then it explodes, it gets millions of views, it's like on ESPN and all these non-wrestling websites. What is something you can do that is just completely out of the box, just one little thing? So I challenge you, do one little thing, try it. What do you got to lose? Really, your pride? Like, why did you get in this wrestling anyway? Did you get in to make it? Did you get in just to have the respect of saying, everybody that ever wrestled me can say I had a great match with them? Why? You have to maybe have a big think with yourself, a brainstorm and say, why am I doing this? Do I want to make it to the next level? Do I want to make money? Maybe you don't want to be in NXT, but do you want to be working once a month, or do you want to be working 2 or 3 times every weekend? So, this is my challenge to you. I hope at least one person out there takes me up on my offer. Don't even say you watched the video. I don't want any credit for this. Just please, do something different. That is all. This is episode 30. Yes, 1 month already of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life, Life is Wrestling, and I love wrestling. I'm your host. Wait, Remember, like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!